Coffee, one of the most widely consumed beverages in the world, is increasingly being recognized not just for its stimulating effects, but for its surprisingly complex and beneficial impact on cellular health. Beyond caffeine, coffee is rich in bioactive compounds, most notably chlorogenic acids, a class of polyphenol that exert antioxidant and metabolic regulating effects. Together, caffeine and these polyphenol interact with key nutrient sensing and energy regulating pathways that help activate autophagy, the process by which cells clean out damaged components, recycle waste, and maintain internal balance. What makes coffee particularly interesting is that it triggers autophagy in a way that mimics the effects of fasting and calorie restriction, offering a practical and widely accessible tool for supporting longevity and cellular renewal. Caffeine, the most famous compound in coffee, functions as more than just a central nervous system stimulant. It enhances cellular metabolism by temporarily inhibiting phosphodiesterase, which raises intracellular cyclic AMP (CAMP) levels. This, in turn, activates protein kinase A (PK), which has downstream effects on mitochondrial activity and energy utilization. But more importantly for autophagy, caffeine also activates AMP-activated protein kinase (AMPK), a critical energy sensor that responds to low cellular energy states. When AMPK is activated, it initiates a metabolic shift toward increased fat oxidation, reduced protein synthesis, and, significantly, the induction of autophagy by suppressing the mTOR pathway. This mimics the effects of fasting or exercise, sending a signal to cells to shift out of growth mode and into a protective, repair-oriented state. Chlorogenic acids add another powerful layer to coffee's autophagy-enhancing profile. These polyphenol, found in high concentrations in both regular and especially green coffee beans, exhibit potent antioxidant activity and directly influence mitochondrial function. They also appear to work synergistically with caffeine to enhance AMPK activity, thereby reinforcing the signal for autophagic initiation. In animal and cell models, chlorogenic acids have been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, reduce hepatic fat accumulation, and upregulate genes involved in detoxification and stress response, all processes intimately connected to efficient autophagy. Some studies even suggest that chlorogenic acids may support lysosomal function, helping ensure that autophagic flux, i.e., the entire process from autophagosome formation to cargo degradation, proceeds smoothly. Perhaps one of the most practical and effective ways to harness coffee's autophagic benefits is to consume it during a fasted state. When taken without cream, milk, or sugar, black coffee has minimal impact on blood glucose and insulin levels, meaning it does not significantly disrupt the metabolic state that favors autophagy. In fact, drinking black coffee in the morning or during an intermittent fast may deepen the autophagic response by prolonging the fasting window and amplifying AMPK activation. This makes coffee an ideal adjunct to fasting protocols, whether the goal is metabolic health, fat loss, cognitive enhancement, or longevity. The positive effects of coffee on autophagy extend to the brain, where caffeine has been shown to protect neurons against age-related damage and neurodegeneration. In animal studies, caffeine and coffee polyphenol reduce the accumulation of toxic protein aggregates such as amyloid beta and tau, hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. These benefits appear to be driven, at least in part, by enhanced autophagy and the improved clearance of misfolded proteins and dysfunctional mitochondria. Likewise, in the liver, coffee intake is consistently associated with reduced risk of fibrosis, cirrhosis, and fatty liver disease. Here, autophagy helps clear damaged hepatocytes and supports detoxification, further reinforcing the protective effects seen in epidemiological studies. Coffee's influence is not limited to one organ system. Regular coffee consumption has been linked to a lower risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, and overall mortality. While many factors contribute to these outcomes, the activation of autophagy is now understood to be a significant underlying mechanism. By regularly stimulating cellular recycling and reducing the buildup of toxic byproducts, coffee helps maintain metabolic flexibility and cellular efficiency, two crucial aspects of healthy aging. Of course, moderation and individual tolerance are key. For most people, 2 to 4 cups of black coffee per day appears to be both safe and beneficial. Excessive consumption, particularly in sensitive individuals, may lead to sleep disturbances or heightened anxiety, which can counteract some of the stress-mitigating effects that autophagy offers. For those who are caffeine-sensitive or wish to limit intake later in the day, decaffeinated coffee still contains meaningful amounts of chlorogenic acids and may support autophagy to a lesser, but still useful extent. In summary, coffee is more than a morning ritual. It is a biologically active beverage that supports autophagy through the combined actions of caffeine and polyphenol like chlorogenic acids. By activating EMPK, suppressing mTOR, and improving mitochondrial and lysosomal function, coffee creates a metabolic environment that favors cellular repair and detoxification. When consumed during a fasted state as black coffee, it aligns perfectly with the body's natural signals for renewal, making it a valuable and sustainable tool in the pursuit of long-term health, metabolic resilience, and graceful aging.